4.
We're going live.
3, 2, 1. Hey, Maniacs!
Hey, Maniacs.
How we doing? Oh my gosh, there's 80 people in here already. And there's an Olive.
80 people and one dog.
Let's make sure that everybody can hear us fine. Just give us a thumbs up or let you know that you hear us and they heard the music. So let's talk about Olive. Olive is 6 months old now, and she's showing off her new collar, which is
Unicorns.
it's got unicorns and rainbows on it. So
You say hi, Olive?
we promised Olive, and we deliver on our promises.
Yes,
so.
she is getting big. She weighs over 15 pounds now. I think she's probably close to 20.
Yeah, she's really quite heavy now to carry outside in the morning. So,
All right, I'm going to hand her off. Thank you, child.
No problem,
I
Mama.
appreciate it.
excellent. There goes one of our children with the Olive, and shut the door.
Yep.
And oh my gosh. Okay, how insane is this episode to begin with? And by this episode, I mean this live stream and the episode we're covering.
Yes.
Because we took 2 weeks off. Thank you all for giving us the 2 weeks off,
Sticking with
us. And then, oh my gosh, this I should have watched this episode 4 more times.
You can't watch it enough.
This is a bonkers episode. We're going to try to stay to 2 hours today.
Max.
I don't know if we're going to do it. Because we have so much to talk about. And thank you all for coming, first of all. And we're just completely blown away by all of our support and all the love we get from the Maniacs. It's just fantastic. I can't think of another word for it. It makes me very, very pleased.
It's the highlight of my week. And, that's competing with having a tooth pulled earlier this week.
What did we not do this week?
Somebody in the chat said, record this time, and you're already recording.
We're already recording.
Hey.
So we remembered to put the recording on. So we actually had it running beforehand. And okay, just this, like Thursday alone, I was busy from 7 a.m. till 10:30 at night. It is insane.
So we've got announcements up front, right?
Yes. So a couple of things up very off the top, right? First of all, we have heard you guys, and you guys have talked to us about 2 things, 2 serious. We're going to cover the serious things at the top and then get to the fun because, Oh boy, there is fun.
Yes.
So we're all aware of what's going on in the Ukraine and absolutely know that it's important to so many of you. We've had messages from people who just are heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. So for the next 3 months at the very least, so this is March, April, May. Oh, let's make it 4, June.
Yeah.
All the way to the 1st of July. We're going to take the merch money, just in case you're not, I got my Benbow t-shirt on. We're going to take the merch money and give it to this program called, it's called the World Central Kitchen. And it's created in 2010 by this guy named Chef Jose Andres. And what they do is they are the first of the front lines providing meals in response to humanitarian, climate, and community crisis. We build resilient food systems with locally fed solutions. They're awesome. Go to their website. They tell you exactly where the money's spent.
Yep.
They show you how the money's being spent. They put their annual reports and their audits on their website.
We'll put
up
the
front.
link in the show description.
The link will be in the show description. It's wck.org. All the money that we make on merchandise for the next 4 months, we'll match it and send it off to them to help people in the Ukraine.
They've got food trucks on the border in Poland. So when people are escaping from Ukraine and crossing that border, they get a hot meal for free.
That's absolutely
I support
fantastic.
That.
Yep. So,
and I'm not going to tear up about it because, gosh, it's so touching that they're doing that.
So get your Badgers Drift T-shirt.
Yeah.
Then the second thing we're just going to mention briefly because we're going to actually talk about it more next week. We had somebody reach out to us and talk about the situation of trans kids and trans athletes right now in the United States. And we're going to talk about that next week. We have a trans child. It's an issue that is important to us, but we really want to give it what the importance that it has to us. So we're going to move that to next week to talk about that.
Just for a few minutes.
Just for a few minutes.
And this is a crazy enough episode anyway. We we need to minimize time at the top.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like we found. Well, okay, we'll get to that.
Don't say how many we found.
No. Okay. So next, we're live, which is crazy, and we want to talk about the last contest we had.
Yes.
Right. We had a contest, the
Bernie the
Badger contest, and we got entries from all over the world. It was
incredible.
Crazy. And the three winners, we picked Kathy from Florida, who's actually in Abu Dhabi. Mm-hmm. Sarah, who's in Texas, and Anna, who's in Bruges, Brussels.
Yes.
So international winners all over the place.
Yes. So they have received a gift certificate for the shop so they can buy their own Badger t-shirt or, whatever they want.
Thank you all so much for
really
all
fun.
the pictures. They made us feel so happy and loved, and it was all great. Then on top of it all, we just got the new Midsomer novel, as Sarah will show here up on the screen. Excellent.
I don't know if you guys remember from when you were kids, but there were these choose your own adventure books, right? So you're in a deep dungeon and you have to choose, are you going to fight the dragon or are you going to run away? And based on what choice you made, you had to flip to a different page to see what would happen. So this official Midsomer Murders interactive novel, Could You Survive Midsomer, just came out in America. I think it's been out elsewhere for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think so.
By Simon Brew, who we've dropped a note to. We're trying to get him on the show. I'm sure he's really busy.
He's super busy right now.
So what we decided to do was read it together. So each night at the end of the night, we would read a passage or so and take turns making choices, right?
Yes. I choose poorly.
We died in the first 30 minutes.
It was less than that.
The fourth choice we made resulted in our death.
Yeah, it kills you right away.
It's hardcore. It doesn't include characters from the show, but it has the essence of Midsomer down. So it's fun. I recommend it. It's not very expensive, so if you're looking for something to read.
It's nice to have an official Midsomer book.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is fun. Well, official Midsomer book. They're based on books.
Well, yeah.
The Graham books. Those are the first official Midsomer books.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyhow, anything else?
Off the top, let's see. Lordy, I got too many windows open. Off the top, no, I don't think there's anything else other than this is Midsomer Maniacs, a comedy recap podcast dedicated to the ITV series Midsomer Murders. Each week we dig into an episode of the show, including the murders, the mayhem, the loonies, and everything else we love. I'm Mark Bell.
I'm Sarah Smith Robbins, and if your kids can handle Midsomer, they can handle the podcast. And Kimberly also got killed by the yucca plant.
Oh.
That's what happened to us, too.
It's dangerous, man. That yucca plant is... If you start that book and you see the yucca plant, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're done. Back up. This week we're talking about season 20, episode 2, Death of the Small Coppers, which is the 20th anniversary episode of Midsomer.
Yep.
And as we've mentioned before, and as you probably all know, because it's the 20th anniversary episode, it's kind of a special episode. And so they put some Easter eggs in it.
Some.
Easter eggs being little hidden references, and they're all hidden references to prior episodes. Now, nobody can find these babies like a maniac.
No.
Because we watch these shows like maniacs, right?
I think literally they told each of the production departments to put them in.
Yeah.
Put whatever you want in. Because there are more than 20 folks. I got to tell you.
We found 27 at least, depending on how you count them. All the press at the time said 20.
Yeah, I think we have the definitive list. And one of the ones that the press said, I'm like, no, I don't like it. I don't like there's two of them that are kind of that
it's more of a coincidence.
Have way more that are
purposeful,
really
that have
like
to be on purpose.
References.
Yeah. So as we talk about the episode today, when we get to one of these that we have identified, we've got photos and stuff that we'll show you. But if we happen to miss one that you found, pipe up. Let us know.
You'll know that we're talking about an Easter egg because you'll hear this sound.
Easter egg.
So when you hear that sound, we will be showing an Easter egg on the screen.
Yes.
This originally broadcast on the 17th of March, 2019, which is 3 years ago. In the before time, but not much in the before time. April, May 2017 is when it was recorded. 6 million views. Directed by Paul Harrison and written by Chris Murray. This takes place in Little Crosby, but oh boy, there's a million things.
And even if it didn't have all the little references in it, it would still be a good kind of quintessential Midsomer. It's nuts. There's crazy people. There's
the killings. We could do a Midsomer Maniacs episode on the killings alone in this
just
episode.
The methods?
And there's only two of them.
Yes.
It is insane.
Yes.
So we begin with the butterfly hunter.
Yes. Mahesh.
And okay, so this episode, let's just get this off the top, right off the top. It is the mixture of butterfly hunting, IQ tests, and school all together.
Yeah.
With these Easter eggs on top.
Yeah.
And so it leads
Never
to
mind the whole plot about Birgit.
Oh yeah,
dad,
the
right?
whole Birgit
There's that too.
plot. Never even mind that.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot going on.
Yes. So you begin with they're really into juxtaposition, this series.
Yeah.
So you see him mounting the butterfly on a display case as the killer is putting what can only be called his finishing touches on his masterpiece. Okay, so
remember, this is a spoiler podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about who did it.
Okay.
Right? So Leo, the kid who is the killer, and I don't know if he's 18.
I tell you one thing.
He's not the first killer kid in Midsomer. But
Looney McTooney is what he is, but he's super smart.
So in the time that Mahesh is out collecting butterflies,
yes,
Leo rearranges the entire summer house.
Yes.
Paints a huge butterfly on a wall.
Yes.
He must be like painting and drying the paint at the same time.
He's amazing. The painting it's dry right away.
He's stolen an auger from Jenny's farm, brought it there, pre-drilled a hole in the brick wall.
Silently. All of this. Just without any noise at all.
And this, so because
Think Latterly has posted butterflies and pins.
And pins. Nice. So because Mahesh is the principal of this school, he lives on the grounds in the deanery, they call it, the house that's on the grounds. So he's mere feet away from the main building of the school, where Grady is preparing to give this circulus membership IQ
Yes.
test, right? So you'd think that he would hear the, auguring in the wall. It wouldn't be easy to do.
Oh my gosh, no. By the way, we haven't even actually got to the episode.
I know. And he also has to install these big like meat hooks, right? Yeah. Because he has to suspend Mahesh.
Where does he get all of this stuff?
He steals all of it from Ginny.
Yep.
Right? All from the farm.
Yep.
So he just goes shopping in Ginny's barn, and he must be super stealthy because though Ginny is blind, she has the hearing of a bat and will shoot at anything that moves.
But blind selectively.
Yes. So
how can you be blind at the front but not at the side?
We're going to talk about that. That is absolutely possible. It's not uncommon. You just don't know about it. Okay. So he has to paint the butterfly, auger the hole, put the hooks up. Then he has to grab Mahesh, put the ethyl acetate over his mouth, right, to gas him. Then pick this grown man up enough to hang him from the hooks, like he's got like ropes around his wrists.
Something,
right?
Yeah.
Then pick up this big auger that's meant to be used down.
Yep.
Right? It drills holes in the ground. It has to hold it up like this, which would be heavy. And like just...
And there would be blood and guts everywhere.
Okay. But even before that, all right, you know me. I Google things that I shouldn't.
Yep.
Right? So the auger spins. It's a screw.
Yep.
Right? And so if you put that into fabric, the first thing it's going to do before it gets to Mahesh is it's going to twist his clothes up, right? So it would probably rip his clothes off. And eventually, it's one of those things where you have to be strong enough to hold it to counteract the twisting. Because otherwise, Leo's going to be spinning around instead of it going into Mahesh, right? Once he gets through him, like he almost needed a pilot hole.
Yeah.
You know? Like...
Hold still. Well, let me do a pilot hole
I'm just
first.
going to get a drill with a big bit and okay, that gets me a start. And then I'm going to put this in and gets it through, then detaches the auger bit from the handle motor part of it and takes it away.
I just want to say one thing that Rachel K brought up, that he manages to get away from his father to do all this too.
Right. Carlton is all over him prepping for the exam. So I don't know. I think I'm a pretty good painter. I think I'm a pretty good artist. And if I was going to do that butterfly, I would need like a projector and an image to project it up on the wall. And then I would trace it and then I would get the paint out. Somebody else pointed out, he has no paint on his hands or on his clothes.
Yeah. So
he's super stealthy, super neat, super artistic, super strong.
Well, he cleans up afterwards. He's a good boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a maniac.
Wow. Like what a crime scene. I think it would take at least 3 people to do it.
At least.
But
so
Leo is special.
His wife is on her way home and she passes a sign.
Anika?
Yes.
Yes.
She passes this sign that's up on the screen right now, which is the Newton Magma Little Worthy Little Crosby Pendlefoot Bailey sign. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool. It's actually 2 references. Most places say it's only 1 reference, but it's 2 references. The first one is Newton Magma. What episode is that from, Sarah? You have it on your notes in the back page.
I do?
Yep.
Oh, I do. Because somebody has augmented my notes.
Yep.
So I'm a paper person. Mark has his all. Let's see. Newton Magna. It's Who Killed Cock Robin.
Yes, and Little Worthy is where we're at, but Little Crosby is also in 2 other episodes.
Well, Little Worthy is in Small Mercies.
Oh,
and
yeah, Little
the
Worthy.
Wolf Hunter of Little Worthy.
Yeah, so it's an Easter egg for an episode that hasn't happened yet.
We've never heard of Pendlefoot Bailey, right?
I don't even know what that means. I tried to search everywhere to find it, and it was like, what?
Oh, Oxfordshire Lass says the best pilot hole would be a belly button. I agree. That would be a start.
I do think that would probably
If
be.
he had a good sized belly button. So we've got the street sign, the town sign. That's our first egg there.
And that covers 1 and 2, according to our notes.
If you count it as 2, you can count it as 1, right?
Yep. And we're introduced to this thing called circulus, which is Latin for circular, or circle, which is okay.
It's Mensa, I guess.
I'm gonna be kind here and make this rant short.
Thanks.
This is not an IQ test.
Oh gosh, no.
Okay. I had a friend in college who studied IQ tests with a professor. And so I did a lot of IQ tests really as a favor for this person.
Yeah.
So I know what an IQ test is. And
General knowledge and trivia is not an IQ test.
general knowledge and trivia is not an IQ test. Math is not an IQ test.
No.
Lateral thinking is not an IQ test. And the question at the end, the cheaty question, is like from high school. Come on,
it's
man.
to teach you how to read the directions.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Yeah. A well-designed IQ test, and IQ as a concept is kind of not really acceptable anymore anyway. But a well-designed one is supposed to control for levels of education or cultural exposure.
Yep.
So things like trivia and math are not supposed to be. Lateral thinking, I have seen on some.
Yeah.
Nonlinear thinking, that kind of stuff. But and it's supposed to be like critical thinking, problem solving, with as little cultural references as possible. So this test is just bad. It's a snob test, is what it is.
So before we go on, I just did want to say one thing. Sarah is watching the chat, and if you have a question for us directly, just at Midsomer Maniacs, and then it pops up specially for us so that we can see it.
Yeah, if you've got a question that you want us to answer.
Somebody said they liked my long rants.
A highfalutin.
I'm just getting started.
A highfalutin Jeopardy test is right, Rachel. It's
definitely that. So we see her driving, and we see a notice board because
you're talking about Annika.
Annika's driving,
Yes.
and we see the young Penny putting notices up on the notice board. This notice board has all the hits, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, it's got Guys and Dolls. It's got Priscilla's Workout. It's got The Lost Dog. It has every sign that we've seen.
Is it just the same bulletin board?
I gotta think that there's at least some sort of situation like that. There's no Easter. I didn't even count those as Easter eggs because those are like Maniac Easter eggs.
Yeah.
But they definitely are like the big hits there, right? And she goes to the house. Did you notice what the name of the house was other than I can't believe the wisteria they have on the front of this house?
Don't even bring it up.
Oh.
It's the deanery.
It's the deanery.
Because it's on the campus of the school.
Yep. And that house is actually called the deanery. And on their website, I went to their website for like 2 seconds because on their website it said, view our famous wisteria. I was like, you could take your wisteria and just off.
Hate you.
Wow. Okay. So we get to the scene of the crime and
Oh, not only does the deanery have the wisteria that we will not talk about anymore.
Yes.
But it smells minty.
Yes. To get rid of bugs.
I didn't know. Maybe somebody knows. But I didn't know that mint repelled insects. So we've had mint in the garden.
Yeah.
And
we got lots of bugs.
Insects seem to love it. Yeah.
So they find the victim.
Oh, Braveheart says that they're amazed that you could read that bulletin board. You've never seen Mark watch a Midsomer. Because he will turn his head and
take screenshots and blow them up.
And zoom in on them. And
Yep. So I have the victim up on the screen now, so that we see.
It's
Just
the murder scene in all of its glory.
Just horrendous.
You got to give him credit for corpse acting. I looked really close at this to see if it was a dummy. It's not a dummy.
It is him, and he does a good job. But I have to tell you, this is not the most horrific thing in this room.
Oh, there's something that really bothered you, other than his bad shorts and his knee socks.
His shorts and his knee socks are horrendous. But this is in the room right here. It's on the screen right now.
Yes, I do have a vendetta against Wisteria because mine wouldn't bloom after 10 years of tender loving care.
10 years we treated that tree. Look at this on the screen right now. I cannot believe.
The things that offend you are funny. There's a body and you're like, look at that file cabinet. That is unacceptable.
Okay, so he didn't have this because he's meticulous. We saw him being meticulous. So not only did Leo do all the things we said before, he reached over to this cabinet and moved that label.
He's a meticulous kid, as Rachel has pointed out. And not only did he do that, but he also, he rearranged the stuff on the walls too.
Yeah, he did.
There's one missing as well. Did you notice that?
I
There's
did.
a tag missing. So are you more irritated by that?
It's the uneven tag. I got to turn it off. I have to turn it off, folks. It's just horrific.
Oh no, the drawer.
So we have just like this is what I'm talking about. This episode, when we've only done one of the Easter eggs, two of the Easter eggs yet, Fleur's dialogue here is just fantastic.
She shows up and she's like, yep, he popped his clogs.
Yep.
Do you know where that comes from?
No.
Oh, well, nobody else knows either.
Oh.
It's quite the debate about where popped his clogs comes from. So you have to know that clogs are workmen's shoes.
Yes.
Right? So men who worked in factories wore clogs in addition to, them being like a Scandinavian thing and whatever. Clogs are everywhere. Anyway, either it is your clogs have been pawned because you don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're dead.
Because you're dead.
Or because clogs have an open back, if you fall backwards dead, your clogs don't come with you.
Oh.
So you pop your clogs.
She says, what does she say? She says something like, who would want to hang around with dead people?
I know. Who would want to be surrounded by death all the time?
We do,
says the coroner. She also says he died pre-porridge.
Yes.
Which I had to think about for a second. Like, what do you mean by that? I guess
before breakfast.
I guess. Yep. Which is handy since the auger bit went right through his tummy. And if it had been full of porridge, what a mess.
By the way, Penny's sign says the following. Nothing short. What is happening to the small copper is nothing short of a massacre. The UK Fish and Wildlife Service summed it up in one grim statistic since around 1990. About 970 million have vanished. What?
That's a lot of butterflies.
That's a lot of butterflies. Please call your representative to support the Endangered Species Act and to support the national protection of the small copper butterflies.
It is clever to make it a missing poster.
But I want to talk about the other poster that's there. So did you try to figure out what the circulus image was?
It's a hand with a light bulb, isn't it?
Yeah, but do you know what's lighting the light bulb? A brain on fire.
Oh, I missed that part. Where's the brain on fire? It's inside the light bulb?
It's inside the light bulb. It's the strangest logo.
It's like they Googled stock photo smart and saw a brain, fire, light bulb. Put them all together.
Put them all together.
Brain on fire inside a light bulb.
Yep. Excellent. And so we then have a scene where it's not talked about because it's a big reveal, but we have a fish box with a broken heart in it. It's all mysterious. The Watcher is mysterious.
Diane is worried that I need a VPN for my searches.
Oh,
And Rachel's right. I don't know what happened in season 20, but in season 20, they told Neil Dudgeon, we need you to make more faces.
yes. He's Facey McFace Man.
Because he's always like,
We need you to emote.
emote more. And he does. And we get to meet Eddie.
We're 5 minutes into this.
I know. We get to meet Eddie Robotham. But let's talk about the exam.
Yes. Okay. So the exam is
Invigilated.
Did you know it was invigilated? By the way, it's invigilated.
By an invigilator.
By an invigilator.
Do you know that means for vigilance? Like you have to watch it because they're invigilating?
It sounds like
Somebody has a word of the day
adult toy
calendar.
or something.
No. It's a
The
nerd.
Invigilator. Maybe I should make a comic about the Invigilator.
I'm going to start telling the people at work who proctor exams, I'm going to call them invigilators.
You are the Invigilator.
So at the exam, people have their little lucky charms.
Yeah.
Brigitte brings her fish box.
Okay. We don't know it's Brigitte yet.
Right. But, okay. Spoiler podcast.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Brigitte has her fish box. Somebody else has a blue-haired troll doll on their desk.
Yeah, and I did a search to see if we had seen another troll in another episode, and we hadn't.
Yeah. I haven't seen any other. Oh, yes. It's Latin invigilator.
But there are a couple of things to pay attention to in this scene.
Including one man in inappropriate clothing.
Yes. The first thing I had in my notes is I'm just going to ride my bike over and
take the exam wearing my padded bike shorts because
he's in the DGM bike colors and bike shorts from
Breaking the Chain.
Breaking the Chain episode. This is another Easter egg.
You got a picture of him?
Yes, it's up on the screen right now. So, he walks in and I was like, oh, Easter egg. Bing. Eddie's there. Okay, let's just talk about Mark Brenton. Is it Brenton or Burton? Who plays Eddie?
I see the wrong picture. Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Yes.
Benton. So first of all, Mark Benton was like active on Twitter with us this week, which is so nice. He's such a nice guy.
He's in Shakespeare and Hathaway.
He's in Shakespeare and Hathaway. He's in so much.
Yeah.
He did. I asked if he wanted to be on the podcast. He has not responded yet, but I would gladly have him on the podcast anytime. He plays such a lovely person and character, and he does such a great job in this episode. I just wanted to make sure that we cut. We have so much to do. There is amazing acting in this episode on top of it. And that doesn't even mean flambeau, which we'll get to. So the guy bikes over from the bike race.
Apparently, he came straight from the bike race
and
to take the exam.
Now he's doing the exam. So that's our third official
Easter egg.
Ding, ding. But the Invigilator, Grady, who is, I think Grady may be one of my, I may hate him. This might be one of my favorite Midsomer episodes, even without all the Easter eggs. Grady is horrible.
To punch him all the time.
So he does a thing, which is he creates the crossword for the newspaper that he owns. Mm-hmm. And we see him creating the newspaper, and really it is just Easter egg after Easter egg.
Yeah,
right?
They used the crosswords for Easter eggs in this episode quite a bit.
So at first we have across the middle of the page here, we have Badger's Drift, right?
Yeah.
Then the first down clue is Parva, which it relates to what episode?
I can't remember. I mean, there's Parva.
There's a Midsomer Parva in one of the episodes, and then finally the clue that is along the right hand side of the down is Guillaume, for Sword of Guillaume.
I have to get to my list of crossword related stuff here because those aren't the only things.
Yes, this is the crossword he's working on. The one that's in today's paper has another clue across the top.
Yeah. So the clue for Parva, now you have to know, this is a cryptic crossword,
Yes.
right? And cryptic crosswords, and I can't complete them, but my understanding is that there's rules about how the clues are constructed.
Yes.
And one part of the clue is what it is, and the other part is more about like how it's spelled, right? So they give you kind of a hint. So the clue for Parva is Roman numeral is 5 between soldier, a Midsomer Hamlet.
Yes. So
do you know what the 5 between soldier means?
it's so V is the 5,
Right.
and the words around V are PAR
A.
Para, like paramilitary.
Like paratrooper.
Yeah, like paratrooper.
Right. So
Yep.
that's short for soldier. You put the V in.
Yep.
Right. The one I don't understand is the clue is gazpacho motive, and the answer is revenge.
I don't know. I couldn't figure that one out either. But it's definitely a clue.
Yeah.
And then he's writing infidelity along the bottom.
And there's Orcus Fatalis is in one, and
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a couple of crosswords. I get them confused because Grady, like you said, is designing one of them, but then Luke is completing one
Yes.
later, and it's not the same one. Not only do I want to punch Grady repeatedly, but his poor wife.
So Celeste is it's that close to a Easter egg, this trope of the wife who has a husband die and she's happy about it.
Or the woman in Midsomer who is kind of beaten down by a guy who is a jerk in her life, and then he gets murdered, and she's like, "I'm free!" Right?
At their house, did you notice? Like, okay, that's Grady's house. He has like party stuff around his pool. Do you think he's a pool party guy?
No, but they're gonna have the Circulus party there later.
Will the woman with the short blonde hair show up in inappropriate clothing? Because she's all over that party
She's
later
everywhere
on.
else, yeah.
Yeah, we watch it like maniacs, baby.
So the Circulus sucks posters are awesome.
Yes.
Like, say what you mean.
Yes.
You know.
And Celeste is sent to find Luke.
Yes. Luke, who was an English teacher at the school, but has been fired and now makes his living sitting around.
And he's sitting around
I don't know what he does for a living now.
the Green Man pub.
Yes. Which is another. What are we up to now?
I don't know. 7. Yeah. I have them numbered for Sarah. So this is 7. The Green Man Club, of course, references the Green Man episode. So with Superman and the guy from... I've lost all memory lately.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Gazpacho was a murder weapon. You're absolutely right.
Oh, that's right.
Beth, Stasia,
Yes.
Danielle, everybody.
Yep.
Yes. We missed that one.
Yeah, we did. We did.
That's another one. That's 28.
That's, oh my gosh.
Unless you count all of the crosswords as one. I'm
No,
sorry.
I count
No.
it. No, that's 28.
Like I couldn't
Yeah.
even figure that one
Yeah,
out.
that's another one.
Brilliant.
So we have the Green Man, and inside is Luke, who is, of course,
It's John Light, who we know better from Father Brown,
yes, who plays Flambeau on Father Brown.
the gentleman thief.
And I love him on Father Brown, even though the Flambeau in the original Father Brown's is awesome too.
Yeah.
But he's a completely different
Completely
guy.
different character.
But I definitely like that Flambeau.
But the pub is another place that is jam-packed full.
Okay, so the pub has another notice board. It has the parish news, and they're trying to sell something. What is the drink of the day at the pub?
Midsomer Vinay.
Midsomer Vinay, which
Ding.
of course references Vintage Murder
Yeah.
episode. But then Sarah was like, "Did you see the robot?"
And you were like, no.
I was like,
because you were looking at the wine that the robot's holding and not
Yes.
the robot.
yes. So the robot is holding the wine, and let me give you a little close up of the robot here. So there's a close up of the robot on the screen right now. So Sarah's like, "What is that robot? What kind of robot is that?" And
And why is it holding the wine?
So that robot was released in the 1980s. It is let me bring up the reference here to this robot. It is a Tommy Omnibot TR5000 personal robot.
Why is it there?
I do not know, but I do know that we also have a picture of what the box looked like so that we know what it looked like when it first arrived at your house. So somebody also has a remote control for this. This is a remote controlled robot.
Yeah, which makes it really not kind of a robot.
Yeah,
it makes it a remote control.
It's not really a
butler, basically.
And this is what I'm saying. This episode has this and all these. Like on a normal episode, I would have talked about the Omnibot 5000 all day, man. But
And I searched my
caution,
notes.
electric toy. That's what it says in big letters on the front of it.
I searched my notes. I couldn't find any reference to it. I thought maybe in one of the computer episodes somebody might have talked about the Omnibot. I couldn't find it in my notes.
No, we looked everywhere. So we do all of our notes through Google Docs. So they're searchable.
Yeah.
And I found a bunch of stuff luckily because of that. So
Meet the future, your own personal robot. The amazing Omnibot has a programmable memory, walks, talks, can carry objects, and includes a built-in tape deck, alarm clock, and rechargeable power cell.
So Flambeau is doing a crossword puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And in that crossword puzzle, across the top of it is
Orcus Fatalis.
Orcus Fatalis, which is our next Easter egg.
Which is kind of a giveaway because that's the name of the episode too.
Yeah, but the clue is weird again. It says fast choir ails this poisonous flower.
Well, fast choir ales is an anagram of Orcus Fatalis.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's an anagram.
And poisonous flower is what it is, right?
Yes. I love Caesar's garlic is another cute
Yes.
clue. I went through every one of these clues and every one of the other answers that we can see to try to find out if there were other Easter eggs. But I got to tell you, I love Flambeau. I love the actor. I love Luke, the character. But man, he's doing his crossword puzzles in pencil. Man, he's lowbrow.
Or he doesn't care.
The serious people do it in pen, man.
I think he doesn't
I don't
care.
do it. I don't do crossword puzzles. I can never figure those things out. So
I noticed something about this crossword puzzle in particular that I've never seen before, in
What?
that it has two sets of clues, one that's a cryptic clue and one that's simple clues.
oh, I didn't know that they did that either.
Well, quick clues they call them, and I didn't know that they did that. It would take a special skill at crossword construction to make two sets of clues that fit in the same grid.
Yes, Asgirder, it is like R2D2's granddad.
Beep, 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 beep.
beep, 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 beep.
Barnaby, you are our only hope. Did you notice all the nerdy stuff on the mantle at the Green Man?
Oh yeah, there's like a Rubik's Cube, and
phrenology
head. and-
There's like 4 abacus in there. Abaci? What's plural of abacus?
There's a couple, and then there's like a Chinese checkers game, which I feel bad even saying Chinese checkers. It's weird.
Yeah.
And next, we're off to talk to Penny. Did you notice?
Oh, Penny.
Did you? I looked. There's
Winter
a book
is
on.
like, oh,
there's
Penny.
a book on Penny's desk that just is called bugs, all in capital letters. I looked at about 300 books called
It's like
Bugs,
your Red Robin Hood.
and I
Red Robin Hood,
could not
Riding Hood.
find that book.
She's a teacher, so
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that she has a Bugs book,
Yes.
right? Before we move on to Penny, one of the supposed Easter eggs in this episode that you're not crazy about,
Yes.
is that Luke's caravan is in Troy Vale.
Yes.
That's the name of the field where his caravan is, and you reject that.
So
one,
what
right?
number is that?
You don't have it on your list.
Yeah, I do. It's near the end.
24.
24. Okay.
But you reject that one as being a reach.
But I have a good picture for it, so I'll put it up on the screen right now. So, yes, this is kind of like, wah, wah. I'll give it a ding, but the fact that he lives in Troy Vale is not what I'm really pleased about. The picture I chose is the one with Troy with his tongue sticking out as he's playing cricket, because I don't think Troy would accept this one either.
I love that Rachel says that maybe Grady wrote the quick clues for his wife because she's not very smart. And that he's only credited by one name, like Cher.
I think one of the reasons we hate...
He owns the paper. He can put whatever he wants to in there, right?
One of the reasons why we hate Grady is... So we're academics. We've dealt with academics all of our lives, and we've met people very much like
Or
this
intellectual
man.
snobs.
Yeah. Absolutely. So...
Yeah, so Beth brings up the two-pronged pitchfork leaning against the caravan.
Which is another item.
That's another one I'm not sure about. I mean, yeah, I guess it is a reference to Orlando Bloom getting impaled.
Which number is that? And I'll put it up. It's near the end on my list.
Why don't you have this list open? Because you have
I
too many
things open.
This is exciting. 23.
23. Okay.
I have to say, it probably is an Easter egg because it's not like Luke needs a pitchfork.
No.
You know, he's got like piles of books, liquor bottles, and a pitchfork.
Yeah, he doesn't really need that pitchfork for his butterflies being hidden in his caravan. That whole thing is just stuck in, baby. So yes, there is the pitchfork that poor Orlando Bloom could not roll correctly and do a dexterity check.
Nope.
More on dexterity checks later, because the greatest dexterity check of all time comes at the end of this episode. So that's another one that we'll give it to people, but we found more direct references than things
that are a bit more overt.
Yeah.
But I'll give you the pitchfork because I don't know why else it would be there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's in the foreground.
Yeah, it is in the foreground, so I'll give it to them. So, like I said, I think they just told the production people to put in as many as you want.
Put it all in.
And put it all in.
So you were talking about Penny.
Yes. And so at first I was like, is school in session? No, it's in the summer.
Yeah.
Because in this scene and the next scene, she's not really dressed like a teacher.
No. There's a little bit too much midriff for a teacher.
But being in her classroom
in the summer,
in the summertime, she can wear whatever she
Yeah, it
wants.
doesn't matter.
Even though she has like a whole kind of hatred. No teacher I knew, biology teacher, ever had as much room as she has.
Well, that's the benefit of teaching at a private school.
I guess.
In a converted mansion,
okay, that leads us back to the circulus thing. What benefit do you get from passing this test?
You get to be in the club.
But what does that mean? Like, are there special club privileges? You got to pay dues, and
it's like Mensa, you know. I mean,
but the poster says become a genius. I'm like, aren't you only supposed to take geniuses anyway?
Well, you get to be officially identified as a genius, I guess. I mean, there might be events, I suppose.
I guess.
Networking opportunities with other smart people.
James Cargill says, is the name Grady considered an Easter egg? I don't know. what you're referring to. So elaborate.
I know we were joking that he was like Cher, just the first name, like Rachel mentioned, but if it's a reference, I didn't get it. So let us know if you think that it is. She has like a net over that little corner, corner of her classroom.
Yeah.
Where she's got butterflies in there, which explains why she's there so much during the summer, because she's got to water those plants and feed the butterflies.
And stuff like that.
Then we get to go meet Jenny.
Yes.
Jenny, because it's Virginia. Ginny.
Yes.
I have to tell you that it is absolutely possible to lose your central vision, but not your peripheral, through age-related macular degeneration.
Okay.
It's reverse tunnel vision is what they call it.
Boy, did we have some fun at her expense.
Oh, she should not have guns.
No, if you can't drive, which you certainly can't drive with this disease.
Like this? Like, no, you can't. There's no way.
So
she should not be shooting at people.
Sarah has a
makes me
thing
so nervous.
about people looking at you while you're driving and talking to you.
Oh.
She drives her nuts when we watch it in shows. Of course, those people in shows are not driving the
Right,
cars.
but I'm always like, look at the road, look at the road, look at the road. Jenny would have to drive with her head turned so that she could see where she's going and shoot at people.
It's just horrendous.
Not only does she wave a gun around, she actually shoots the gun at people.
She shoots the gun at people.
Ooh.
Just insane.
She is one of the founding members of Circulus, but has left Circulus because she's disenchanted with the whole thing, right?
Okay, they
so
keep
she's grumpy.
showing a picture. And throughout my entire notes, there is, where is the fourth man? Because
He's dead.
The picture shows Luke
Yes.
and the butterfly guy and Grady, and then this other guy.
Yeah.
He gets named once in the episode.
No.
Yeah.
He's the friend of Birgit's dad
Yeah.
who died.
Yeah. That's right. That's who it is.
Anders.
Anders.
That's Anders. And one of the things that confused me, and I'm going out of order here a little bit,
We're
right?
all over the place.
One of the things that confused me is that when they reveal that part of the history of Circulus was that it was kind of a way to exchange like industrial secrets or espionage,
Yes.
right? People would take the exam as a cover for giving away this information,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Which means it's a weird method of sharing secrets, because you can only do it when you're taking the exam,
Yes.
which once you're a member, you wouldn't do anymore, right? You only have to do it once. And I also thought, okay, if it's espionage, that makes me think of like wartime,
I guess.
which means Luke is way too young
Yeah.
to be involved, right? But then I also thought, well, if you'd have to use the exam as a cover to continually share information, then you couldn't pass, right?
Yeah.
So Eddie is the most likely person to
Maybe
be doing
Eddie is
espionage
doing the
now.
espionage. Maybe.
He pretends to fail so he can share more industrial espionage. I don't know.
Did you
I
play-
don't understand that.
Did you play along with them when she says who is the 1907 Nobel Prize for Lit? Before I stopped it and I made a guess before.
Oh, when Birgit asks?
Yeah.
It's Rudyard Kipling,
It's
right?
Rudyard Kipling. She gets it right.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe James Joyce.
I don't know.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd play along with that. Speaking of playing along, all through this is a game of one-upmanship between Winter and Barnaby that also keeps count.
Yeah. Like the code on Mahesh's door being the year.
Yeah.
Okay. He needed better passwords,
Yeah. He certainly did.
because the kids in that school are totally going to get those answers. Yeah. Anna forgot about Anders completely. Irmi Rose, I think you're right. I mean, it's Cold War, right? So it doesn't have to be related to the war, but I mean, really, Luke still is not old enough to have. He must have been very young when he was a founding member, I would think.
And I'm going to say that for our 10th Easter egg, that
Birgitte is an Easter egg.
Birgitte herself is an Easter egg.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Because she's a former character from a former episode.
Yeah.
But not the only throwback to that episode here.
Oh.
So
Interesting.
there are more throwbacks to the Murders in Copenhagen episode.
Interesting. She's staying at Eddie's B&B.
Yes. Eddie has a lot of jobs. Maybe he should just do the lot of jobs he has.
And stop worrying about being in the club.
Yeah.
I love how she plays off nosing around in his office.
Yeah.
She just doesn't. Like,
Yeah,
he catches her doing it, and she's like, "Oh, can I have some tea?"
Yeah.
Like, never mind what I'm doing.
Yeah. And
He just lets it go.
Eddie's like, "Oh, okay."
He's so nice. He's so nice that my jaded brain is, the first time I saw it was like, oh, he's a baddie. You know he's a baddie. Because he seems really nice and really jovial and not super sharp. So
Yeah.
he's probably an evil genius. No, he's just actually kind of a good guy. He's got a nice kitchen.
Yes, he does.
He has a kitchen for a B&B.
Yeah, he
He'd feed
does.
6 or 8 people breakfast.
I went on a B&B tour in England in 93, and I would have gladly stayed there.
Yep, I would have too. It's very nice.
So we're off to the Crosby Courier, which, okay, I'm a nerd. I got to tell you, because it's not in Courier font.
That'd be a little on the nose, wouldn't it?
I would think it would be a little on the nose, but there are a lot of things in the Crosby Courier that that are on the nose.
Think Laterally has a good point about Luke being part of Circulus when he was really young. No one suspects a 4-year-old spy.
So I want to talk about a couple of Easter eggs here. First of all, there's the Hodgson, right? So
That's at the pub when they go to talk to Luke. The painting with the pigs that are the wrong breed.
Yeah, it's from Black Book.
Yep.
So
the Hodgson painting.
That's another reference. And then when they get to the Courier, we see in the background a newspaper. What does the newspaper say?
UFOs land in Midsomer.
Aliens land in Midsomer. And that is a definite reference to Electric Vendetta. And none of the papers and none of the other lists online I found saw that. And that is clearly,
it's like
it has a
on the
picture
head.
from the episode on the paper.
I have to say, though, this is also the scene when Annika's at her desk working,
Yes.
where I found what I think is it was the most hidden Easter egg in the episode.
So
And I saw it nowhere else on any list anywhere.
No.
Did they catch it?
Sarah found a piece of gold here.
No.
I would say that this is my favorite one that you found, and my favorite one I found was the one on the mags.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is this. It's on the screen right now, and it is Annika's email box.
Yes.
Okay, if you listen to the show, you know that we're going to look in your email box.
If it's on screen, we're going to examine it.
And we see from Annika, in Annika's email box is an email that starts, "Dear Mr. Oswood."
And it's your bank statement.
Yes.
And I'm like, why is she getting some man's bank statement in her inbox? Oswood
Yep.
is the name of the character in Death by Persuasion.
Yes.
The husband in the Jane Austen weekend setup.
Yep.
He's Oswood.
Yep.
And apparently Annika's getting his bank statements.
I guess so. So I would call that an Easter egg for sure.
I think so.
It's the name of a character
Why
from
is
another
it there?
episode.
Why is it there? I also love that a little bit further down in her inbox, she's getting emails from the Midsomer Mercury about how they're the best local newspaper.
Yes.
I don't know if they're just rubbing it in her face because she's the editor of a competing local newspaper or what.
I guess.
Yeah, I like that. The Midsummer Mercury, best local paper, 3rd year in a row.
I guess.
But she also gets an obituary for Mahesh.
Yes.
Which seems exceptionally cruel to email a widow.
Okay.
They just found his body that morning.
This is why Leo is nutsy bobo, because he does this elaborate frame scheme to frame Grady and then kills him.
Yeah.
And Barnaby's right when he goes, why would you frame somebody and then murder them?
Yeah. Celeste, Detective Doodah and Sergeant Thingy are here. I love her.
I want to call them that forever now.
Detective Doodah and Sergeant Thingy.
Oh, did you notice Jenny's horrible roof and the fact that she had rabbits hanging from her kitchen ceiling? That's
not uncommon. She's a farmer.
Yep.
She's a woman of the land. She probably got some birds hanging in there too. Her whole farm is kind of ramshackle.
Yeah, it is.
Her kitchen's a bit frightening.
Yeah.
Not as scary as the barn of death, but, it's a bit frightening.
Well, she also has an Easter egg on her table.
She has plumber's relish.
Yes, she does. She has
sauce for the goose.
Sauce for the goose, plumber's relish. Right there on her table.
Braveheart asks if the red telephone box behind her is an Easter egg. I think it's behind Annika.
Yeah, that's
red telephone boxes are kind of common in the UK, though. I just think
I just don't know if there's a direct reference to an episode.
It could be.
Yeah.
Detective Doodah.
Detective Doodah. I used to know a guy named whose last name was Doodah. It clearly had broken him.
Yeah.
So she has plumber's relish on her table, but then we go to Grady's house. And there's a weird transition between where the exams are going and Grady's house.
Yeah, you kind of think that Grady's house is close to the school too, but it's not the one that's on the grounds.
No.
That's Mahesh and Anika's house.
It's really weird. But of course, we're like, wait a minute, we've seen that light somewhere before.
Oh, how could you miss the hideous lamp?
The Eye of Sauron lamp.
The big fabric-covered Eye of Sauron lamp.
I couldn't find it in my notes until I searched for Eye of Sauron.
Ermi Rose brings up the biscuit tin.
Yes, the biscuit tin's later on, but it's there.
Yeah, it's in her kitchen, but you don't see it until later.
Until later.
So you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So this lamp, does anybody know where this lamp is from?
Rebecca, would someone please tell me what the circular lamp thing is in Grady's office? Yes, it's the Eye of Sauron. That's what we call it, because it looks like the evil thing from Lord of the Rings.
And it's from The Glitch.
Yes.
The rich guy has it in his office also. It could be the same room. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be the very same room.
But yeah, that light. Whew.
I wanted to make sure that I had all the ones on that page. Yes, okay.
Okay. A light is to provide light.
That thing does not provide light.
If that was on and the room was dark, I'd be afraid.
You'd be scared. It's a bit like a giant pucker. I don't know. And then, okay, so what's the thing behind the door on the other side?
I don't know. Let me look. Put it up again. It's it might be a shredder, maybe?
A shredder?
Maybe.
It's got a big knob on top, or
push button to shred.
A dome. Where does the paper go in?
I don't know. But yeah, that's a weird thing that's there also.
He's got so many lamps. There's four just in that one picture. There's the Sauron. There's the one right next to it. There's two on the other side behind the door. And then there's the weird device behind the door that I can't figure out. Maybe it's a humidifier or a speaker or something.
Heather Cole got it right that it was the Glitch episode.
Yes.
Yeah. So where are we at in the episode? Oh my gosh. So many notes. Thank you for bearing with us.
So Winter is still back talking to Ginny,
Yes.
and she almost kills him. That's when we see the plumber's
He almost
relish.
dies.
Yeah.
Twice in this episode.
Yeah. Because then Penny almost runs him down with her motorbike.
So 3 times in this episode, he almost dies.
Yeah.
It's a hard episode on the sergeant.
If I'm going to be stealthy at Ginny's place and live to tell the tale,
Yes.
I'm not going to ride my motorcycle around. Because Chick is going to go like, and shoot you. She comes tearing out of that barn. She says she's there looking for insecticides that she thinks are responsible for the death of the butterflies. But she knows exactly what's going on with the butterflies. She and Luke have been catching them, and they're living in his caravan.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Living in a caravan has got to be tight enough without giving up an entire room to butterflies. Like, where does he sleep? Does he sleep with the butterflies? That would be uncomfortable, I think.
Meanwhile, Barnaby, his wife, and a lady from Amsterdam get drunk.
Man, Brigitte can put it away.
She can put it away, man.
And we find out that Luke and Anika are having an affair, right? They do the kissy thing. And then Mags.
Okay. So
I say that because the guy who delivers the magazines to the newspaper store just drops them and goes, Mags, and walks off.
which is a clear indication. I'm like, okay, I need to look exactly at what's going on.
What's up with those mags? They're Midsummer Life magazines, right?
Yes.
All tied together.
And what item is that on our list?
That is number 15.
Number 15. Okay. So we see the Midsummer Life magazine, right? Which is, it's great. Like, it has a windmill on it, which, as we noted when we covered the Midsummer Life episode, there was a windmill on it. This is a different windmill on a different cover.
Yes.
So, yeah, I checked.
Of course you did. We're not surprised by that.
But I said to Sarah, I said, did you notice what the magazine said? And Sarah said, no, it's Midsummer Life. That's what it said. And I said, oh, no.
There are other stories on the cover, which, of course, I can't read.
So
but you probably
if you crop that image and blow it up, you read the following. The first headline is problematic. Midsummer best and only working windmills set for closure. If it's the only working one, clearly it's the best.
Best windmill that is also the only working one. That's what I'm going to assume they meant.
I guess.
In that poorly written headline.
Maybe.
But it's not the best story on the cover.
The second headline is, when I read these next 2 headlines, I double checked them because I was like, that's not what they say. And we are famous for saying they missed an opportunity to put a Easter egg in there. They did not miss this opportunity.
No.
The second headline is, psychopaths send house prices into spiral.
So finally, all of the murders in Midsummer County are having an impact on housing prices. It's about time. It's only been 20 years.
Yes. Jessica's right also that there's a windmill in Tale of Two Hamlets.
Yes.
So this I would need to double check, but this might be that windmill.
Yeah.
And the final cryptic weird headline on the front of that Midsummer magazine is Pony Club Camp, the real horrors revealed. What the hell happened at Pony Club Camp?
I don't know.
They had fun with that.
Do you think that's a reference? The only pony club I can think of is the episode with the cookery teacher where the ladies are making money, and there's the one lady who does the writing lessons and also spanks people with the whip.
Yeah.
But that's not pony club.
That's not pony. What is going on at the Pony Club camp?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Mark does kind of have to do yoga to get to read it. He also has a monitor that he can turn. I think that helps. Yeah, there's horror stories. I hope that there's an episode because I want to know what the horror stories of the Pony Club camp are.
I do, too.
It's the My Little Pony Club.
I just thought of something.
You're right, Beth. Cully did go to the Pony Club.
Oh,
remember?
that's right.
There's a reference to her going to pony camp.
That has to be another.
That's a ding.
That's a ding. There we go. One for you guys.
Oh, man. We started at 27. We are up to 29.
And I'm about to add another one. Do you think
Country
the
Matters,
white
that's right.
gloves that we see are a reference to the white gloves in that the guy who has the burns all over his body has to wear?
I don't know. Gloves are gloves.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're not. They're not.
Though those
special gloves.
scenes with the white gloves and the butterflies are really reminiscent of the scenes with the frogs getting the poison from them.
Yeah, that's true. Just after Megs is the old car.
Yes. So that's the next one. And what number is that?
That is number 16 on our list. It's from Death in the Slow Lane. It's exactly the same Bentley that's in
the
that episode.
Same Bentley, same license plate and everything.
The first rule of Pony Club is don't talk about Pony Club.
So that car is a clear one. And the car is a clear one because they like look at it and then it goes away. Like they stop the whole production,
like,
which is like Mags.
Easter egg. Anyway, yeah. I love Stacy's comment. Could that be the one with the aunt ancestrously bonking her nephew who's engaged to her stepdaughter?
Possibly.
That's a Midsomer, isn't it? Only in Midsomer or in a soap opera could that be a potential plot.
Okay.
Grady figures out who Birgit is, and he's so smug.
Oh, he's so incredibly...
When he gets killed, I'm like, I'm so wrong, but
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question I need people to weigh in on. Sarah Barnaby gets asked to come invigilate the exam and help with the grading. So she's in Circulus, right? Otherwise, Grady would not have asked her.
No.
So she's part of this club.
I can only think that she's part of the club. She would have to be.
What do we think about that? Would she go in for that?
I don't know. Education's on the downturn in Midsomer, as we'll learn from a headline later on. So maybe she will, maybe she won't.
I don't know. Part of me says Sarah wouldn't want to become a member of a club like that had no good, real purpose to it. If it was just an ego thing, she wouldn't do that. But then I also know that, she's an educator. She takes pride in being an intellectual and a historian. And maybe, I don't know, maybe she joined before they met.
Maybe. Who knows?
And to see what the chat thinks about whether Sarah is a member of Circulus and what you think about that.
Along with this, we see a couple of Easter egg references here, which are to music.
Oh, Stacia points out that maybe it's because she's an administrator at the school, but that's not her school.
That's not her school. So there's a couple of times where this Midsomer Classic Radio is playing, and it plays 3 songs supposedly.
Yeah.
That are Easter eggs. One of them is Dollhouse Blues from Axeman Cometh.
And then there's the Ballad of Midsummer County,
which we fully accept as Easter eggs. But the other one, the article I read said it was the 10th Symphony.
The Curse of the Ninth.
From the Curse of the Ninth.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if they played that enough.
I'd have to listen to them side by side, and I did not get a chance to do that.
But that's another clear moment where she's like, I'm doing the music for the party. Click.
Yeah. So obviously this is important, or I wouldn't be commenting on it.
So let's talk about Grady's death and his method of dying. Like the 15 minutes. We started at the beginning of the show. We now have to talk about what I would say is the most elaborate planned death in Midsomer history.
I don't know.
It's
The guy who was drowned in the TV is a pretty good one.
but
no,
this is almost a reference to that.
Yeah, it is almost a reference to that. But I think the trebuchet and the wine bottles is the most elaborate.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but this
one's good. Leo had to build custom electronics for this baby. That
Yes.
thing on Grady's head is kind of
so
awesome.
he built custom electronics. He also programmed and built the receiver and the sender for the clues and the question.
Yeah, it's like a little kid's toy remote. It's
But
funny.
like he must have brought a computer. Did he bring like a Raspberry Pi that had this on it in addition? Like
It's complicated.
This is unbelievably complicated.
But it's awesome.
There is one quick Easter egg before he gets killed, though. So he comes in and figures out they're snooping. How does he figure out that they're snooping? He looks on his computer. By the way, he has the most boring desktop in the entire now.
But he does have £500,000 in his bank account.
He has £500,000 in his bank account. Did you happen to see where that bank account was?
A bank.
That bank account was at Shires Bank, PLC.
Oh.
And that is the bank that is referenced in 3 other episodes.
So is that an Easter egg or is that just a local bank?
I'm calling it an Easter egg.
Okay. It's mentioned in Painted in Blood, The Sword of Gleam, and Hidden Depths.
Like this is a known entity in town. And they're outside of it at one point. I think the episode where I think that's the episode where the piece of furniture with all the money in it is. Mm-hmm. I think that episode, because remember I found where that building was because of the
when Tom Barnaby's in the basement. Yeah.
I think that might be Shires Bank.
Oh.
So
Okay.
So definitely a Midsomer only thing. There's no actual Shires Bank.
If you didn't know who the killer was yet at this point in the episode, as soon as you see the questions that are put to Grady, you have to know that Leo is the killer.
Yeah.
Because he mentions Arctic monkeys.
Yes. And no one else in this episode knows anything about the Arctic monkeys
Anything about
except for
current
Leo.
music. Maybe Penny might know some current music. Maybe. Yeah, so he gets the thing around his head that just reminded me of the colander that Rick Moranis wears in the Ghostbusters movie that Egon puts on his head. But then he also has this thing that has like 2 like balls on the end of it, like almost like calipers, but with balls that go on his neck.
Yeah.
And then he's tied down, duct taped, and can only reach the 4 buttons on the little remote.
Yes.
To choose his answer.
And Barnaby is on the case because of the Unabomber. So if you watched anything or learned anything about how the Unabomber case was solved, is exactly what happens here.
Linguistic analysis.
So Winter does a linguistic analysis on it, and
says the editorials and the obituaries have too much language in common.
Yeah.
So it must be Grady who wrote the obituary.
Yes. So
and if you wrote the obituary, you know too much about the murder,
Yep.
Mahesh's murder, so you have to be the killer.
Yes. It just that position signal simulator. By the way, that I looked up what it is. And it's a piece of electronics and what it does. And
Rachel's right. The hat kind of looks like what Doc Brown wears in Back to the Future.
Yeah,
too.
it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, it has kind of a Doc Brown. So now we're at the scene of the crime, and immediately Fleur knows everything about this.
Well, do you know the answers to the questions that we see?
Nah, I know it's not Arctic monkeys.
So the first one is, in street speak, who or what is a roadman? first of all, you also know it's Leo because Leo doesn't do commas.
Yes.
There's a lot of commas missing in
Yes.
everything that he writes. A waste collector, a homeless person, a weed-smoking layabout, or a rock band assistant.
Bin man.
And Grady says rock band assistant because he's thinking roadie.
Yeah. No.
But it's not. So what is it?
I think it's the trash man. Isn't
A waste
it?
collector? That's what I would have guessed too. I looked it up. I saw roadman being a reference to waste collectors, but of course there's a ton of other things. I don't know if anybody disagrees with that answer. We'll have to see. And then the other one is, which contemporary band had a hit with chocolate? The 1975 Arctic Monkeys, Breaking Benjamin, or Little Big Town? Grady answers Arctic Monkey.
And they're all actual bands.
Yeah, current bands too.
Yeah.
I like that Leo basically kills Grady with a lack of current knowledge.
Yes.
Like, you are so out of touch.
I think Barnaby figures it out.
I don't have to kill you directly.
Yeah.
Your lack of common knowledge will kill you. And when Candace finds out that he's dead, she's so happy. She is genuinely happy. I wish the camera didn't cut away before she jumped in the pool because I'd love to see her go, yeah, and jump into the pool.
I'm like, Winters is in the background going, I guess I'll pour the champagne.
Yeah. Because they were going to have a party for the people who passed the exam.
That's still a crazy house, man. That house is incredible. I would gladly have that pool.
Well, yeah. Who wouldn't?
So they go back to the Courier because they're going to talk to Anika about the headline.
Mm-hmm.
And she throws something up for us that is full of Easter eggs.
Right.
So this is, first of all, there's another mag scene where the guy comes in and drops the paper. Did you see what was on the paper? I don't know if you even noticed this.
No.
Yeah. So this is one that I think I'm the only one who ever got this.
Oh.
This, it's on the screen now. This reference is Straw Festival banned after spontaneous combustion. That's the headline. Which is clearly Straw Woman, right? And it says at the top, Pagan Festival banned in memory of murder victims.
And I love that Grady owns this paper and yet puts in a story, meet Grady, our puzzle maker. Like, and here's a story about me. And it's about me in my paper, and it's written by me about me. Way to go, Grady.
Like, wow, that's clearly Straw Woman. And I went back and checked that picture's from the episode. So that I don't think anyone, I found no reference to that. We may be the first human beings to collectively
pick
see
that one out.
Yeah.
Rachel asked if we noticed the mezuzah on the door to Grady's house. I did not notice that.
No.
I don't doubt
What's
that
that
it's
a reference to?
A mezuzah is it's a thing that you put on the door frame. It's a Jewish, like, good luck, safe passage kind of thing. I didn't notice that one.
Meet Grady, our puzzle maker. Oh, good God. So then at the Courier, we're faced with this, which is Midsomer Blue wins cheese.
Yeah, because
Cheesy.
Anika shows us the cover that Grady was going to run.
Yeah.
Outing Penny, right?
Yeah, and this is full of Easter eggs.
There's the Midsomer Blue cheese. There's the comic book convention,
which is the next episode. They do Easter eggs on the next episode.
And then filming in Midsomer.
Yes, which the text for that is interesting.
It's all gobbledygook text. Yeah.
So what I referenced earlier is Midsummer's education system in hot water.
Yeah.
Just because one teacher and another teacher, like, okay, the sin that Penny is being accused of is befriending a man whose wife died and falling into a relationship with him.
And being kind to his son, who was going through a lot of stress.
That is the thing that she's being accused of. And he's a student.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's probably okay.
Bin Man and Grady's death test. It should be Bin Man. I wish it was Bin Man.
If it was Bin Man, I would just be so happy. Bin Man! Hey, Bin Man!
Yes.
Troy.
Oh, Samantha says the pic in the lower right corner of the paper is a reference to when Sarah had Betty. We'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah. There's so many.
Is that this paper?
The newspaper.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Nice catch.
Go Maniacs.
Very nice catch, Maniacs.
Somebody involved in writing this episode is going to write us and go, okay, you guys paid more attention than we did and we wrote it. Okay, you're broken. Something wrong with you.
I hope. This is my hope. Other than all the people who already listen to us, which are fantastic. We love you guys. But I hope the people who work on the production of this show listen to especially this episode and say, "Oh, they got all
Somebody
our hard work.
appreciated all the hard work we did.
All the stuff they made for this episode.
Yeah. We appreciated it.
Absolutely fantastic. And like I said, like just for the 2 killings alone, this episode is bonkers town.
Yeah. So then Ginny and Brigitte talk, and Ginny says, "I'm one of the founding members." And Grady killed your dad's friend. Grady killed Anders.
Before that, I have one little question.
What?
When Brigitte's at the police station by herself, I have a question. Who gave her IT privileges to use the computers in the does she have her own login now?
He said that they put the resources of the constabulary at her disposal.
I guess. And we missed an IT guy coming in and giving her access.
They gave her a guest account.
Okay.
I guess. So Anders Nielsen,
yes,
who was Brigitte's dad's friend, was killed by Grady.
Yeah.
You shoved him off a bridge.
Yes.
And
I
this
love
is
how
where we get the cookie tin, by the way.
Yes, this death is totally like, oh, and then this happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you got to ring the bell for the cookie tin. Ding.
Let me show. What number is the cookie tin? I think it's probably this one. No.
Oh, it's number 27 in your list.
Okay. 27. There's the tin right there. Sorry for all I can't believe the fact that we're streaming and recording and having a conversation with hundreds of people and getting pictures on the screen is amazing. Okay.
The cookie tin is there.
The cookie tin is now there. So, yeah, and that cookie tin is from Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's the Death in Copenhagen reference.
So it's nice. It's a nice thing here.
Yeah, the Calder's biscuit tin.
Do you think, we talked about this with the Death in Amsterdam episode, Killings in Amsterdam episode. Copenhagen.
You got there.
Do you think they were trying to spawn off another...
like a spin-off show?
Yeah.
In Copenhagen? No, I don't think so.
Laterally says, password 123, you're all set, ma'am.
Yes. Or, it could be like Mahesh's, just use the number that's right on the wall there. That's a good password right there. Yes.
So anyway, I think this is more...
figured out Barnaby's password. It's just Betty.
This might be a spot where they're trying to create a spinoff.
Maybe. I don't think so.
Okay.
Because if they had a spinoff, it would be Fleur and Sarah's road trip of awesomeness.
Fleur and Sarah's road trip. That's so bad.
They'd go off in the motorcycle with the sidecar.
That's so bad.
So Winter falls for this fake text from Penny.
Yes.
I don't think he would fall for that. I think he's smarter than that. We didn't even mention that Penny kissed him.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he falls for this text, and I just think it looks like a big trap. It's just trap, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. But she's pretty.
Yeah.
I just think he's smarter than that. But so he heads off to the woods, and of course, Leo snares him in a rope snare.
Okay. There is not nearly enough counterweight on that weight to pull Winters into the air.
That big log? It's not enough?
I think there needs to be more
It's a pretty big log.
to make it work for sure.
It's not as dubious as his ninja swing arrow catch.
Whoa.
That's more unbelievable.
I have a whole rant on that. We'll get there. Okay. So then he asks them this angel and devil riddle. So
Yes.
this is where it mixes up IQ tests, math, lateral thinking, and riddles. It's all mixed up when it's not any of those things.
No.
Like if I was a Mensa member and I was full of myself. If I was a Mensa member and because they're all full of themselves, I would be like screaming at the television because this makes them
Look like trivia experts.
It's wrong.
But Mark, if the lions haven't eaten for 2 months, they're dead.
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum.
Ba, ba, ba. These are riddles that grade school kids tell each other.
I like this riddle, though. It reminds me of Labyrinth.
Yes.
With the 2 doors in the labyrinth where one of us always tells the truth and one of us always lies.
Yes. Because Labyrinth is just absolutely great. And then, okay.
And he's got a crossbow with a timer and a remote control.
He is by far the smartest killer that we've ever seen in terms of gadgets.
He's the handiest.
Yeah, certainly. So then there is the cavalcade of butterfly metaphors. In an effort to stuff as many butterfly metaphors in one conversation as possible.
Talk about butterfly effect. No.
No.
What happens to a caterpillar who can't be reborn? It eats itself and dies. Like, what? It's like, okay, we need X number of butterfly references. We're running out.
Yeah.
So jam them in there while we're running to catch Leo, who is probably killing Winter.
Okay. And then comes the note in my notes, which is, this is by far the single greatest moment of marksmanship and dexterity in the history of the world.
Folks are asking if you can go back to the feed. Have you already done that?
I did. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's just so much.
Lots going on. I can't believe how much we prepped for this episode. Like literally, when this is done, I'm going to call my mom and go to sleep. So the lady with the vision impairment,
Ginny,
at the exact moment where the crossbow fires, shoots the rope, which lets Winters fall and switch the swing from portrait mode to from landscape mode to portrait mode.
Okay, so Winter is already on the ground.
Yes.
Right? He's lowered him down. He's like on his knees, but he can't get away.
Yeah.
And when she shoots the rope,
Yeah.
that lets him theoretically
Grab
drop to the ground is what he should have done, but instead
he grabbed the swing and on the thin edge of
the thin edge, not the thick edge, the thin edge stops the arrow. Which I think is just sheer luck. Because he looks at it like, wow, that happened.
It's not like, humanly possible.
Not like, I meant to catch that. I'm impressed enough that she shoots the rope because that's a rifle and I think it would have shot in it.
I'm going to tell you that the shot, and I looked at this frame by frickin' frame, shows her looking straight down the gun.
Oh, she's like this?
Yes.
Instead of like that? She should be like that.
Yeah.
Which would make her look like a really sharpshooter.
Yeah.
She could take that on the road. Like, not only is she a good shot, she didn't have to look.
Yeah.
She didn't have to tell anybody. She didn't see it. She sees. It's not like her peripheral vision is supervision. It's just the only vision she has.
It is the single greatest moment of marksmanship and dexterity.
She's Ginny's played by Ellie Haddington, and she's been in Midsomer before. She's a really good actress. Her and Eddie both make this totally believable transition.
Yes.
Between being kind of characters you're like, I don't know, to being really, they're just good people. Like, she is genuinely sorry about what happened to Anders.
Yeah, I think so.
And genuinely cared about Birgit's dad, which I thought was sweet because Birgit gets to, kind of close the loop on this mystery for her dad and solve it. And unfortunately, Grady's already dead, so she can't get justice for Anders.
Yeah.
But, she can have a giggle about how he died. Arctic monkeys, whatever.
So Eddie goes off to jail, and then
no, Eddie does not.
No,
Leo does.
Leo goes off.
Eddie gets into Circulus.
Eddie gets into Circulus, and you should come to Copenhagen soon. And then there's a weird shot with the butterflies and the dog in an episode that is all about Easter eggs. Should they not end on an Easter egg?
I don't know. It's the dog and the butterfly. It's Patty with the butterfly. It's a nice shot.
I guess so.
He's not Olive, but he's pretty cute.
He is pretty cute. Okay, Maniacs.
Hey, do you know what the world's largest butterfly is, by the way?
What is the world's largest butterfly? We have like a whole bunch of stuff to sort of add.
This is just one weird fact I have for you. And it's weird because I just learned this fact before I rewatched the episode.
Okay.
Completely unrelated.
The world's largest butterfly.
It's the Queen Alexandra's birdwing butterfly.
Let me guess. Let me guess here. I think it's probably
First of all, can you guess where it is? Where it lives?
Central America or South America.
It's Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea. Okay. I'm going to go that the wingspan is 2 feet across.
2 feet?
I guess that's wrong.
It's half that.
Okay.
It's 12 inches.
12-inch wingspan.
That's a big butterfly.
That's a big butterfly.
It's bigger than your face.
And luckily, we can do visual jokes.
See? It's a 12-inch butterfly. It's big. They're beautiful. They're really, really beautiful. But of course, they're going extinct because of jerks.
One last egg I want to mention is one of the eggs that I don't like, which is
the bird.
The bird, which is supposedly a bird of prey bird.
You don't like it just because you're not convinced by it?
I'm not convinced by it.
You're not convinced that it's on purpose?
Yeah.
I have to say I think it is on purpose because Ginny makes a point of looking up and it's the only thing in the sky.
I guess it's like the green car then. So.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find my note here on exactly when it happens.
But no one says bird. Oh, look, a bird of prey.
So people know what we're talking about.
I put it up on the screen.
It's the red kite, and Penny sees it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done the episode part of the show, except for what we do at the end of the episode. So what I want to do now is we're going to do Best Corpse and talk about that. We're going to do after the episode, talk about that. While we're doing that, we want you to put up questions you have for us.
If
right?
you have, if you
little
want anything.
question and answer period. If you have any questions for us, mark them with @Midsomer Maniacs so that we see them. It's all one word, @Midsomer Maniacs.
Kimberly just noticed the Marshmallow Man. Somebody else may have noticed it too.
Why, yes, the Marshmallow Man is here. And so Eddie can be an invigilator.
Yeah, if you have
any questions,
the last few times we've done this, people afterwards have said, "Oh, I asked a question and you guys didn't get to it." So post it.
So post it.
So let's do Best Corpse.
Best Corpse. I have to think.
You gonna play the sound effect?
Oh yes. So we gotta do the sound effect for Best Corpse.
corpse.
It's so nice to do them in line now.
So you have to choose between Mahesh and Grady.
Okay. It's tough because if Grady was in any other episode, he would win, except for, of course, Electric Vendetta. If he was, or, maggots in his mouth. If he was in any other episode except for those two.
Are you saying his method of death is awesome?
No.
Or he is a good corpse?
Even as a good corpse.
He is not a good corpse.
He's not a good corpse?
He breathes all over the place. Now, granted, he's...
Yeah. It's tough.
But you can see him.
Yeah.
No, it's Mahesh.
It's Mahesh is
He's hanging on a wall.
Yeah. Mahesh is fantastic.
He's got to wear those shorts.
And those socks.
I'm giving it to Mahesh.
Oh, yeah. It has to be.
And the chat agrees.
Yeah, it has to be. Absolutely be Mahesh.
So after the credits, Celeste just parties all the time.
I want to go to Celeste's house because she's going to party all the time.
She's going to be having a good time. Will Luke and Anika stay together?
I hope so. They seem to be really in love. And, he is...
Depends who takes over the newspaper, I guess.
I guess so. He is an international crime spree.
Yes.
Continue.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to take over Circulus?
I guess... I don't know. Maybe Eddie. Eddie can take it over.
If Eddie takes over, it's going to be a different organization, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So, Brigitte goes back to Amsterdam.
Copenhagen. What is wrong with you?
Eddie, I think he takes it over. Carlton is broken man. He has no love. He has no wife. He has no son. He is a broken man.
So if we think Leo is 18, do you think Leo's 18?
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to be able to get a lighter treatment because he's underage.
Yeah.
But he might be able to plead insanity. Maybe he won't get a very long sentence. I don't know. It depends.
Rachel's right that Celeste parties like the aunt.
Yes, at her dead nephew's house. That's exactly right.
From
she's like, look, I got my shoes on in the house.
Chess episode, yeah.
I got my shoes on. Yeah, I have to think Celeste is happy. Eddie's happy. I don't know. Eddie's got too many jobs to take over Circulus. Somebody else will step up, I'm sure.
Maybe Luke will go back to it.
Yeah,
because all the people he hates aren't there anymore.
That's true. He is one of the founding members.
Maybe.
And don't they mention that Grady had some kind of thingamabob in his will that said that the running of it went to the next. Yeah. Yeah, and he's the only surviving one. Yeah. So
I guess he does.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets that house and everything and the half mil in
Luke in Eddie's house.
Yeah.
Or no, and Luke in Grady's house.
Yeah.
With Celeste.
Yeah.
They'd be having parties.
He would say, Celeste, you could still live here.
Yeah. Yeah.
They clearly get along. And so I don't think Winter sees Penny again.
No.
Plus, she asks him, do you like comic books? And he says, I love comic books.
And she's like, goodbye. And maybe Ginny secures her guns and stops pointing them at people.
I hope so. Yes, the actor really did have crazy eyes for Leo's last scene. He was crazy. So he's in, what is he in?
His name is Chance Pertamo. He's been in lots of things since then.
Yeah, he's kind of a rising star now.
And he did crazy really well.
He's one of those people that in 10 years will look back and say, oh, he was on Midsomer.
Yeah, like definitely. Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, Orlando Bloom. So,
all right. Do we see any questions that need to be answered before we wrap up?
To answer. I just want to say once again that I love this episode. I think it's a fantastic episode. I'm so glad they knocked it out of the park with this one.
Oh, yeah. They did a great job.
What?
How did we forget to mention it?
What?
The tweet. Sarah Barnaby's tweet.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. We forgot to mention
Fiona Dolman tweeted just a couple of days ago a picture of a read-through script
for
from
season 23.
23.
Yep.
So they're already rehearsing. So there's definitely going to be a season 23.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. How did we forget
because
that?
we have a million things to remember,
Yes.
and we just can't write all of them down. And I gotta. Okay, so the next episode is Drawn to Murder, and that'll come out. So the audio version of this episode
will come out on Monday.
Will come out on Monday the 21st. Then the 28th we'll have Drawn to Murder.
And that's season 20, episode 3.
And then on the 4th of April, we'll have season 20, episode 4, which is what? Do we know that off the top of
Not off the top of my head.
I don't know off the top of my head. But then we're going to take the 11th off.
Yeah.
Because I got to, in the weirdest, I wish it was 2 weeks different because I have to go to a comic book convention.
Yeah. It'd be timed right.
Yeah. But next week, I got to apologize in advance about how much I'll talk about comic books next week.
Jessica asked if we had any bad movies. I didn't find any bad movies, but I already have 2 for the next one that I know of. So we're definitely going to have some bad movies coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
And we'll answer any last questions that anybody has.
Send them to us. And we'll also post a list of all of the Easter eggs that we already had and the ones that you all discovered and brought into the chat today. So we'll have the definitive list. And we'll make that list from the Sun look stupid because they didn't find nearly all of them, and some of them are wrong.
I'll post with my clever pictures. So
you can go back and check them back out.
Please do even more reels on Instagram and more on Instagram from Sarah and Mark. You're lovely, but so is Sarah.
Oh, it's just because he does all of our social media stuff, but I'm happy to do some too.
Absolutely. I couldn't believe.
Mostly because this week I've been doped up on pain meds because I had a tooth pulled.
So that reel went nuts. So two of the things that we're going to try to do is more reels, of course, with us.
Yeah.
And then we've done it once and we want to do it more where the characters talk on the telephone. We want to replace the other end of the conversation.
Where you don't hear the other person.
The other end of the conversation. So we want to make that as a reel too, because people seem like I want really funny bits on reels, right? Yes. I want to promote. And what I've been completely stunned by, this is total inside baseball, is like 8% of the people who watch that reel are subscribers to our channel. Mm-hmm. So we hit all sorts of new people.
Maybe some new folks, yeah.
Yeah, and I think some of you probably are new here because of it. So thank you, everybody, for showing up. I hope if this was your first live show, we're going to do more for sure.
Yeah.
Certainly, we will do at least 2 more live shows before the end of season 22. Mm-hmm. And then I was thinking we probably do a live show to introduce the new format when we get there.
Yeah.
Which is like a million years away tomorrow. Like we're so busy this week.
What he's talking about is when we're out of Midsomer episodes.
Yeah, like when we're out of Midsomer episodes. So
yes. All right.
Any last questions? Another Easter egg on the list of biology students, there's Jamie Carr listed.
Huh.
Oh, from the chess episode.
We'll have to go back and get a screenshot of that one. Nice. It really feels like everybody in the production crew was in on it.
Yeah.
Like they were all trying to plant them. And we've sent a few messages out to folks who've been in on production crews of various episodes to see if they'll talk to us or just answer some email questions.
Yeah,
we don't get a lot of response from them because I think a lot of them have moved on to other shows. But if we get any responses, we'll be happy to share them with you. The reels are on Instagram,
yes.
right?
I post the reel. I place the same video on Instagram and Twitter. So we're at Midsomer Maniacs on both of those. Mm-hmm. And you're only allowed 15 seconds on YouTube. So I post a smaller version of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
All right. So that's 2
also
hours.
looking forward to shows in progress then when we switch to mysteries.
Yeah, we have to decide what our first one's going to be, but we keep pretending we've got lots
and
of
more
time.
live streams. Everybody likes the live streams. Thank you all dearly.
Thank you so much.
You guys raised a bunch of money for Meals on Wheels at Christmas. Thank you. Remember that the merch for the next 4 months at least is going to go to UK.
Yep.
And just keep doing what you're doing. You guys always surprise us and send us the most lovely messages. We heard about a woman and her sister who kind of bonded over the episodes and the podcast.
I think she might be on.
Yeah, I think
today.
she might be on today. And it's just, it is, when I have bad days, I think about this.
Yep.
I absolutely do think about this community and
that we found our peeps.
Yeah.
And you guys have found each other.
Yeah. And it's just amazing what people have said and so much love. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Oh, I only have 8 more things to do today, including a hockey game.
Which is why we should wrap it up.
Yes.
After 2 hours, these people need to go eat dinner, go to bed, whatever. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's always way more fun than I even imagine, and I always look forward to it knowing it's going to be fun anyway.
Yes.
So.
We have to say it.
Yep. Bye, Maniacs.
Bye, Maniacs.